Hello again, YouTubers, I'm SpongeBob and one back here again on the SpongeBob channel with our review of episode 289 of SpongeBob, My Friend Patty, and FUN-Believable. This synopsis states, SpongeBob befriends a sentient Krabby Patty whose only wish is to be eaten. Also, Rube hosts an episode of FUN-Believable with Rube, where he explores little-known oddities and attractions around Bikini Bottom. Let's dive right in. My Friend Patty explores a fairly simple theme. What if a Krabby Patty could come to life? And with Sandy's new Anthropomorphizer, man, that is a hard name to say, which can turn inanimate objects into living things, that's precisely what happens. SpongeBob is quick to befriend the Patty, taking him on a walk in jellyfish fields. I'm pretty sure he was supposed to be working at the time, but anyways, things go weird quickly when a pet worm starts munching on Patty. SpongeBob manages to free him, and the worm owner and worm itself are zapped by jellyfish, and will gag with a new subject. We then move to the Goofy Goobers, where SpongeBob orders triple gooberberry sundaes for both of them, but Patty gets distracted by the mascot, and SpongeBob is soon freaking out when it appears as if Goofy Goober is trying to chow down on Patty. As it turns out, it was Patty who voluntarily tried to get into Goofy Goober's mouth, and he expresses his desire to be eaten, which really disappoints SpongeBob, who can't understand why Patty can't be a permanent buddy. I do want to point out how SpongeBob just changed his mood once he walked out of Goofy Goobers, even popping back in to say see you tomorrow or something. Looks like he has random outbursts all the time at Goofy Goobers, huh? Regardless, Patty runs off and into the Sea Tots nursery, where he tries to be eaten by the babies, and then SpongeBob rampages in and tries to quote-unquote protect him, all while getting rammed and even making all the babies cry. Of course, he gets kicked out, and we get a random and slightly traumatizing scene with Plankton about to take a ski vacation to get his mind off normal things, when Patty runs by and then stops and tries to get Plankton to swallow him whole. This understandably results in Plankton being completely freaked out. Nice to see that other side of his character, though. We return to the Krusty Krab, where SpongeBob finally understands and accepts Patty's wishes, devising a contest to determine who should be the one to eat Patty. And we get appearances of various characters ranging from Bubble Bass to Slappy, Old Man Jenkins, Nosferatu, and more, none of which have mouths that are particularly appealing. Patty then discovers that the person who should have the privilege of eating him was right there all along. SpongeBob, of course, but that's put on hold when Bubble Bass starts a fight over Patty. Patty manages to slip away, but is promptly swallowed by Gary, who just happens to, show up. This was a really random thing, but finally, Gary does play some role outside the pineapple, so that's great. The crowd isn't happy, though, and they give chase after Sandy for creating this mess in the first place, ending the episode. Well, at least it was Gary and not Bubble Bass's stinky dumpster of a mouth. I'd say the plot gets 7 out of 10. I can kinda understand SpongeBob's desire to befriend the very thing he spent every single working day making for years as more of an impulse thing, where he actually gets to interact with the thing he's being a fan of. Kinda like how SpongeBob fans, like myself and you, probably will be quite interested if SpongeBob suddenly comes to life and you want to interact with SpongeBob. But the reality is things like that are just meant to be for our enjoyment, not to be our friends. And the ending where Patty expresses his desire to be eaten in line with the fundamental function of food really drives home that message. Kind of philosophical if you ask me. Animation gets 8 out of 10. Plenty of very expressive scenes in this one, ranging from SpongeBob freaking out all the time, SpongeBob acting drunk at the Goofy Gurus just like in the movie, him dramatically freeing Patty from the kids, and the whole creative montage of the various characters' mouths. Patty's design itself was simple, and I can't offer an alternative version for it, so it works for me. Unique characteristics gets 7 out of 10. It's not the first time SpongeBob's been obsessed with a Patty, but this time it makes much more sense, and at least the intentions of both SpongeBob and Patty were fairly apparent and well developed, whether you agree with those intentions or not. I thought Sandy coming in with a random new invention that created somewhat of a positive outcome was cool though. Overall, My Friend Patty gets 22 out of 30 from me. Moving on to FUN-Believable. This one's a bit more all over the place, with Rube playing the central role. Surprisingly, the episode starts not with Rube, but with Squidward on his own TV show featuring things he finds horrible. Typical Squidward, at least he got a working talk show this time as compared to Tentacle Vision. Rube's program cuts in and we start at Sandy's Freedom. The main shtick here is Rube is showcasing things and sights around town that are fun and unbelievable, hence the title of the episode. SpongeBob and Patrick also have a running thing here where they show up wanting to show Rube something that is in fact fun-believable, but they keep chickening out because they're not ready yet. The first feature features Sandy and her impressive nut storing capacity, well, in her mouth, of course. The second features a cool Rube Goldberg machine at Nosferatu's castle with Slappy's head as the ball. That's a little bit icky. Nice segue into the ad for the Fizzy Fang soda, though. I thought SpongeBob and Patrick rising from the coffins was genuinely spooky, but it just became silly when they went back in because they weren't ready. We then visit Lazy Mary and her mother, Old Lady Baby Prunes. I was not expecting to see them here, but okay. Baby Prunes claims that she used to be way more active when she was younger, and to prove that, she takes Rube on a helicopter flight around Bikini Bottom. Things go nuts when they encounter Perch Perkins and his grandma while they are reporting the news in the news chopper over a traffic pileup for her birthday, and Baby Prunes takes issue, claiming that she is older. I mean, why was this even a conflict? But regardless, it is. And Perch leaves the chopper in an umbrella only to fall to his doom. Just kidding. Mrs. Perkins and Baby Prunes ram their choppers into each other, somehow crashing onto a moving roller coaster car in Glove World and arriving at the bottom still in one piece. Perch and Mary are waiting with wheelchairs. Kind of staged, if you ask me, to pick them up, you know. In a surprising turn of events, Mrs. Perkins just disintegrates into sand or dust, leading Prunes to actually be willing to admit Mrs. Perkins was in fact older. But simply on the basis of being, you know, like leaving the world. That doesn't technically solve the debate, since older age doesn't necessarily mean you go before someone younger than you. Regardless, SpongeBob and Patrick excitedly show up, and this time they are ready to show the audience something fun-believable by twisting and shaping their bodies to spell out the title of the show. That was surprisingly fun and unbelievable. The episode ends with a downer where Squidward just claims once more that it's horrible. Typical Squidward. The plot gets 7 out of 10. Is everything as horrible as Squidward claims? Not really. In fact, I actually enjoyed Rube's tour of random stuff around the world of SpongeBob with Sandy, Slappy, and Nosferatu, and even Perch Perkins and Baby Prunes. You know, simple entertainment. Animation gets 7 out of 10. I'd say the epic scenes build up as the episode goes along, first with the contraption at Nosferatu's castle, followed by the epic chopper brawl and slamming into the roller coaster in Glove World, plus SpongeBob and Patrick contorting their bodies into fun-believable was pretty cool to see. Unique characteristics gets 7 out of 10. On one hand, Rube is supposed to be a tour guide, and that makes a lot of sense for such a program, but at the same time here, what we were in fact shown was really unique in that it focused mostly on Bikini Bottomites that were not named SpongeBob and Patrick, even though those two actually came in and out at times. But really nice to have extra secondary character focus, and I hope we see more of that. Overall, FUN-Believable gets 21 out of 30 from me. So that's our review of these two episodes. Let me know in the comments box below what you guys thought about them. Make sure to subscribe, like, and I'll see you guys again in the next SpongeBob video coming real soon. Till then, bye!